Shame. It's the quiet prison most of us live in without even realizing it. It whispers, "You're not enough. You don't deserve love. You should hide who you really are." But what if I told you that shame only has power when you let it remain in the shadows? Shame is like a shadow that follows you everywhere. It's there when you scroll through social media, comparing your life to others. It's there when you make a mistake and hear a voice inside whispering, "See, you're a failure." It's there when you want to speak your truth, but silence feels safer. Unlike guilt, which says, "I did something wrong," shame says, "I am something wrong." It doesn't attack your actions, it attacks your identity. And that's why it cuts so deep. Think about it. How many times have you hidden parts of yourself? The tears you didn't want anyone to see, the ideas you never shared, the dreams you buried because you feared people would laugh. That's shame at work. It convinces you that if people really knew you, they'd reject you. So you hide, you wear a mask, you shrink. But here's the truth. Shame is a lie. It's not your essence. It's not your true self. Today, we'll bring it into the light. And once you see shame for what it really is, it loses all its power over you. Watch closely, because after this, shame will never control you again. To break free from shame, we first need to understand it. Shame is not guilt. Guilt says, "I did something wrong." Guilt can even be useful. It guides you to correct your mistakes. But shame goes deeper. It doesn't separate your actions from your identity. It convinces you that your very being is flawed, unworthy, unlovable. And the most dangerous part? Shame doesn't always shout. It whispers. It's the quiet voice that says, "Don't speak up. They'll laugh at you." Or, "Don't try. You'll only fail." Or, "If people really knew you, they'd walk away." Shame is not truth. It's a story often planted in you by parents, teachers, culture, or painful experiences. You weren't born ashamed, you learned shame. And anything learned can be unlearned. Shame is like an invisible chain. It doesn't stop you with force, it stops you with fear. Think about your own life. Have you ever stayed silent when you had something important to say? Have you stayed in a relationship or a job long after you knew it was destroying you, just because you felt you didn't deserve better? Have you turned down opportunities because you were afraid of being exposed as a fraud? That's shame. It's the hidden hand guiding your choices. The tragedy is that what you're hiding is usually the very thing that could connect you most deeply with others. When you carry shame, you wear a mask. You hide your struggles, your pain, your imperfections. And the longer you wear that mask, the more you start believing it's your real face. Shame doesn't just control what you do. It controls who you think you are. It makes you believe that you are broken, when in truth, you're human. And here's the irony. The parts of you you're most ashamed of are often the parts that could set someone else free. But shame convinces you to bury them. So how do you break free from shame? The first step is simple, but terrifying. Name it. Shame survives in silence. It grows strongest in the dark. The moment you bring it into the light, it begins to weaken. When you say out loud, "I feel ashamed of this," you've already broken its grip. The second step, challenge the story. Ask yourself, whose voice is this? Where did I first learn to feel ashamed of this part of myself? Most of the time, you'll realize it's not even your own voice. It's a parent, a bully, a teacher, or a culture that told you who you should be. Once you see that, you can reject the story and write your own. The third step, share it with someone safe. Vulnerability is the antidote to shame. When you reveal the part of yourself you're most afraid to show, and someone still accepts you, shame begins to dissolve. That's why Brené Brown, who studied shame for decades, said, If you put shame in a petri dish, it needs 3 things to grow: secrecy, silence, and judgment. But if you put it in the same dish and douse it with empathy, it cannot survive. Remember, shame cannot survive the light. It cannot survive empathy. It cannot survive truth. And every time you step into vulnerability instead of hiding, shame loses another piece of its power. When you free yourself from shame, you begin to live in a different way. You speak without constantly second-guessing yourself. You love without the fear of being unworthy. You pursue your dreams without the heavy mask of pretending. Shame wants you to shrink, but your soul was built to expand. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Become who you are," and that is the deepest cure for shame. Becoming fully, unapologetically yourself. So I want you to imagine something right now. What would your life look like if shame had no power over you? How would you talk? How would you create? How would you love? That version of you isn't a fantasy. It's who you truly are, waiting underneath the weight of shame. And the good news? You don't have to fight shame forever. You only have to expose it. You only have to choose the light, again and again, until hiding is no longer your instinct. Because shame only thrives in the dark, and you, right now, are holding the light. Shame wants you to believe you are broken, but now you know the truth. Shame only survives in silence and darkness. The moment you expose it, the moment you bring it into the light of empathy, it begins to dissolve. So from today forward, let this be your turning point. No more hiding, no more shrinking, no more apologizing for existing. Every time you feel shame whispering, remember, it is not your voice. It is an echo of old wounds, old stories. You are not your shame. You are not the mask you've been forced to wear. You are so much more. And here's the challenge. Do one small act today that shame has been stopping you from doing. Speak your truth. Share your story with someone safe. Take the step you've been holding back on. And when you do, you'll see that the world doesn't collapse. Instead, you expand. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear these words. You never know. You might be giving them the courage to step into the light too. And if you want more videos that free you from fear, shame, and self-doubt, subscribe and join this community. Because here, we are choosing the freedom to live as our true selves. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.